Okay, we are live. This is a very impromptu stream. We're slipping it in the middle. It's SJJMAS number 29. This is an impromptu debate. Phill and I were having a debate on Telegram.
Oh, yeah. We were having a debate. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, you sound perfect.
Good.
So anyway, we thought we'd just let's just bring it to a stream. I said to Phill, it feels like homework typing back and forth on fucking Telegram. So let's keep it within the terms of service. What the heck do you want to blag my head about, Phill?
Right. So,
yeah,
my issue with you, right? Well, not you. It's your political ideology, and I think it's a lot of people share this, where it's like, I believe the West is the best. I believe in liberty. But typically, when people on the right are talking about liberty, they're talking about negative liberty, right? And actually, negative liberty is something that pretty much everyone pretty much agrees with, right? Which is...
So explain it for everybody. Freedom from oppression, freedom from this.
Yeah.
Am I
so
right?
You've got two concepts of liberty. You've got freedom from oppression. So you should be free to do whatever you fucking feel like. You want to say certain slur words, you want to express a certain religion, you should be allowed to say whatever you feel like. Freedom from the government telling you what to do. The problem is that we've got another kind of liberty called freedom to things. And it's perfectly justified, by the way, because an example would be, Stephen, you can't be a free individual in society if you don't have food. True or false?
Sure, yeah. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is it?
Yeah, you need food, you need education. Perhaps you're a black minority or a gay person, and you need freedom to, representation from the government to ensure that your rights are being looked after, right, Stephen? You're a liberal, bro. Come on.
You see, this is where I don't know. I don't know about freedom to.
Oh, you don't know freedom to when it's a different one. When it's about food, you're like, yeah, if it's food, that's one thing. But when it's that's completely different. But if I argue
wait. When it comes to food,
agree to it,
what is the freedom to have food?
Freedom to have food, because you can't be a free individual if you're hungry.
Right. But it's also your duty to get your own food. I get that society should provide.
If you are struggling to get food because you live in a free society where the society is not providing enough food for people, then or there's not enough employment or whatever. You get the point.
So but we both believe, because you're like a lefty, Phill. we both believe in that the state should provide some level of basic welfare for people who fall on hard times, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem I've got is that this society that you advocate for is not providing needs is not providing positive liberty for certain individuals. That being, white working class people are not free in comparison to other individuals.
Yeah, well, I'd agree to a certain extent.
Yeah, therefore, we have to advocate for a different political system that is going to represent their needs, because this system is not going to do it, because it's not doing it.
Isn't it?
No,
by the way,
not.
I'm not opposed. By the way, let me answer. I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to changing my political ideology. I don't think I've got it perfect at all. Far from it. Okay. Here's the issues, Phill. Okay, we do all want our liberties. Okay, we do all want our freedoms. We don't want to be oppressed. The natural state of the Englishman is to want representation from government, to want our freedoms. The natural instinct of you and me is to practice our liberties, to practice our freedom, to not want to live in a police state. So all these things are innate to us.
No, it's not just that though. We've already established, it's not just freedom from. Everybody wants freedom to certain things as well.
Okay. So now we're in the state of society where we've gone way too far. And
why is it way too far? The problem you got,
because
though,
another
is
type of liberalism, it's liberalism on steroids that has gone, like the pendulum has swung way too far to the other side, and we're like in this race communism / progressivism that's pumped up the rights of minorities. But it's pumped up the rights of minorities within our societies. Probably in the first place, it was good intentions to like look after these people, make sure that there wasn't Pakistanis getting bashed on the streets of Bradford and all this kind of stuff. In the 1980s or whatever. This is where it comes out from. But minorities exercise their rights. It's like minoritarianism has succeeded to exert itself and then gain advantages over.
Right. Yeah. So what you're saying is that individuals in a liberal free society have collectivized and gamed the system to put them in an advantageous spot.
Yes. Yeah, I get it.
Okay, then. So would you agree that as a white working class person, it would be rather naive to play the liberal game, like the individual rights game, when everyone involved in this society is playing a form of collectivism? The rich collectivize and run a society in their interests, right? The middle class do this with certain groups like Hope Not Hate, blah, 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 the fucking environmentalism bollocks, etc., etc. Muslims do it, blacks do it. Why in the hell would you not do it?
Well, yeah, I get what you're saying, but how
it's
would
inevitable
we do it?
Because it's inevitable because I am not denying, right, that in the beginning of this this political ideology that, by the way, I do not deny, and no communist and no nationalist, by the way, no real nationalist or real communist would ever say that liberalism was not a good thing. It certainly was. In regards to history, if you would have gone back to like feudalism or the previous models, they were terrible models. Absolutely fucking terrible. Yeah. The issue we've got is that I think the thing is that a lot of people, they look at liberalism and they want to go back to the past. They want to go to like the negative liberty aspect when it was purely about freedom from oppression. And that's something that I think everybody wants anyway. It's like, I should be allowed to say what I want and I should be running my business.
I should be allowed to smoke my ganja. Listen to half of these people.
Of course. The issue is that it's led to a society where there's a lot of negative side effects that affect other free individuals, which means that your only way out of this is to form some form of collectivism. And that's what a lot of people are doing. They're attaching themselves to an identity, be it, if you're a communist, it's purely about class. If you're a nationalist, it's about your cultural or racial identity. If you're, if you're some sort of a destiny person, then it's probably purely about preserving your middle class, upper class lifestyle, which is what the rich do. They have a form of collectivism, and they do operate as collective. They form lobbies and groups like that where they lobby government to collectively represent them. Right or wrong?
No, you're right. So we're going to agree. So the ideals of liberalism are good. I think we just agreed on that initially. Yeah. It came from a good place. The ideals were good. It's our natural instincts to not want to be oppressed, to want our freedoms, particularly as Europeans. I mean, it might not be the case. I don't think it is the case for many other cultures from around the world.
No, probably not.
So, I mean, people talk about it. It's like the Anglo-mind virus that we've exported around the world for good or bad. So it has its flaws, and it can be exploited by people who use this system to gamify it to their advantage. I think I agree with everything so far. But what is the answer then? What is the answer?
What is the answer? Well,
wasn't it just great? Didn't it just work great until we like opened our borders and invited all these people in?
Yeah, but the problem is that free individuals did that. Yeah, free individuals did that because they wanted that, because it made them money. And this is a problem with liberalism, is that there's a lot of individuals who don't give a fuck about liberalism or its ideals and just care about themselves, ironically enough. They don't give a fuck about the political system, they care about themselves. So I care about myself. I like making money. I want Romanian workers. I want Pakistani workers. I want black workers. I want to sell all of my product to everyone as much as possible. And you being racist or transphobic is getting in the way of that. So I'm going to lobby the government with other businesses to make sure you get arrested for oppressing trannies and blacks, who I am representing because they're one of my consumers.
I'd agree, though, that... Okay, look. So, and here, I guess you're right, and here we are today in this situation. Okay, you've diagnosed the problem kind of correctly. We're here, we're in the...
Well, I think the thing I'm saying is that ultimately,
progressivism, right? Yeah.
The world you're living in now, there's no possible way that you can reason with any of these other collective groups. And they are collective groups, they're not just individuals. They are part of a collective groups, right? There's no possible way you can reason with these people. There's no fucking way that these rich people or these brown people or whatever are ever going to be on your side. That's why you have to either be race conscious or class conscious, or combine the two together, or maybe you can add a religion in there, because that's a problem, right? If you're a fucking Muslim and another person is a Christian, there's no possible way that you can have a society where you agree to disagree. My source for this is just looking at history and the fact that fundamentally Christians and Muslims hate each other. That's just part of their fucking thing, isn't it?
All right, so it's a big mess. We're here today, and so what is the fucking solution there? I mean, ideally, we should have our liberal ideals with checks and balances in place.
Yeah, but the problem is that when you're doing that, when you're putting checks and balances, because this is what's going to happen, you're going to put checks and balances in to create a society which favours probably a certain ethnic group and a certain religion and a certain way of doing things. And as soon as when you do that, you're not being very liberal. You're doing basically becoming a fucking race commie. That's what it evolves into. So you just have to accept that and go, fuck it. Okay, that's what we're doing. I'm trying to be liberal. And everyone tries to be a little bit liberal. Everyone does.
Right.
Everyone tries to be a little bit liberal because parts of liberalism are not bad. We already established that. Parts of it are okay. It's just that a lot of parts are bad. And my issue is that it's not good enough to just sort of say, yeah, the system's pretty much okay. It's like, no, it's not. There's a lot of aspects to the system that are fucking bullshit. And we've got to do a lot of investment. And we've got to force individuals to, adhere to cultural norms and economic reforms. And they've got to be taxed a certain amount. And they've got to favour a certain racial group and a fucking religious group. And you got to force them to do that. You can't simply convince them. You're going to have to use the state to do that. You get what I mean?
Yes, I think I agree. So the kind of checks and balances that I were suggesting are... Look, I think it would be so much better. Like when King Charles is coronated and he has to get up there. And he doesn't want to do it, but he has to say, I am the defender of the faith. I think there should be something like that in place for the government. That they should have to swear an allegiance to the people of this realm, and it should be like that. Should be everything should be through that lens, and
it should be, but it's not currently. That's the problem.
No.
So when you say the West is the best, it's no, it's not. It's good in certain ways, but there's a lot of fundamental problems. A lot of people sort of say, "Oh, we've got a couple of problems we need iron out." It's like, not really. We've got some massive problems. We've got some massive fucking major problems that are pretty difficult to fucking sort out. They're not like, we can't just vote reform.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not that simple. We can't wait for Elon Musk.
Well, I think we should vote reform anyway. I mean,
you should anyway, but they're definitely going to replace the middle class with Pajeets. That's like a thing they're going to do.
I think we should always vote incrementally towards the people are on paper pushing what you want. So
yeah.
That's just that should just be like, I don't know why we argue so much, not you and I, but like on the right wing, like it takes up hours and days and months of argumentation about, oh, should we vote for reform or not do this or not do that or whatever. It should just like be obvious. You should just vote when you have the political option on the day. It's just that simple, isn't it? Just like vote towards what is more in your favour. It's that simple. And now we can like have these arguments.
Is reform more in your favour? I don't know. Well, the problem is that
the option on the day is Conservative Labour or now reform, basically. Those are like the options.
I see literally no difference apart from reform or more of a fucking psyop where it's just like Trump. Like, you're a fucking Trump Elon Musk person. Elon Musk has spent the last 2 days about like justifying why you should be stamping fucking visas to Indians' fucking degrees. Like, he can't wait to fucking replace middle class people with Indians because he's a businessman and he cares about productivity. He doesn't give a fuck about white people or the religion or collective identity, which you do, by the way, a little bit. He's just a proper liberal. This is the thing, is that Elon Musk is a negative liberal. He's like a libertarian sort of person. And this is the thing on the right. People think libertarians are on your side. They're not. They're not on your side. They care more about their own greedy self-interests than any of your stupid bullshit like immigration or any of that crap. They just have they're pro-immigration in a different way. They're like, hey guys, we don't want Mexicans. We don't want the people on the boats, blah, blah. We want unlimited fucking Chinese people who are based, by the way, because they've all got degrees. You don't believe in positive liberty. You don't think white working class people should have positive liberty and we should do some sort of investment in them. Surely you don't believe in that. You're not a commie. You're not a commie, are you? You know what I mean? Well, you think we should use the state to help white working class people and be self-sustainable? I think you're a commie. And these are the same people, by the way, who'll say, did you know that nationalism and communism are the same thing? You know what I mean? Hitler was that kind of shit, you know what I mean? Kind of cringe shit.
They have a point. They have a point.
Yeah. Because, do you know what the point is?
Yeah, go on.
Are you ready for this? Stalin and Hitler recognized the problems and tried to deal with it. And there's only one way of dealing with it.
Well, disavow for the YouTube terms of service, obviously.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean the other. I meant. I didn't mean that. I meant there's only one way of dealing with it, and that's to have a collective form of identity. I didn't mean the fucking solution.
Okay, collective identity with authoritarianism. This is what you mean.
Yeah, because it's necessary. Because fundamentally, human nature is what it is, which is individuals, when allowed to do whatever the fuck they feel like away from the government, will inherently just be greedy cunts who just fucking bring 1 million immigrants in.
So, all right, you said a lot. Let me backtrack a bit and then ask you a question. All right, so I agree with you about like the argument that's going on in America right now with the tech bros, Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, and the thing that's come out. Yeah, they want like high skilled immigration. On the face of it, in our liberal society, to most people, it's hard, isn't it, to argue? It's almost like a shit test, is this, Phill, that's going on right now in America. It's like a shit test. They're like going, go on then, argue against having high-skilled people come into the country.
Okay, I'll do it.
Go on.
Right. I'm a white working-class person. You're choosing, rather than invest in my own children, right, because that's more expensive, you'd rather steal people from other countries rather than invest in me, a taxpayer. I pay my fucking taxes. I pay my taxes in this system, and I think it should at least be used to educating, providing liberty to white kids who are born here, so they have a bloody good education, so they can do those jobs. But instead of doing that, you want the easy option because you're greedy. You're greedy fucking bastards. That's what it is.
Okay, so now I'm not arguing from my point of view, but I'm going to argue against Phill how the tech bros would. They'd say, what you don't understand is we've hacked the globe. We've hacked the system, okay, and we can get the engineers that we need now, today, from around the world. We can invite the cream of the crop from around the world to help us now. We have a shortage. We need them now.
You mean us?
We don't.
You mean you?
We don't need them. We don't need them in 20 years' time. We need them now. We're in an arms race. AI arms race with China. We need them now. Therefore, we've hacked the system and we're attracting them. Back in a minute, Phill says. So, the question that I have for Phill is, well, I suppose I should save it. Skilled at what, says Living the Dream? Well, engineers, I think, is what Elon Musk needs.
I'm back now. Well, so the point is that when Elon Musk, from his upper class society, talks about what we need, he's talking about what he needs, right? I'm not a complete cock, and I'm not going to go, yeah, bro, he's right. I'm a worthless piece of shit. He should invest in normal people like me. He should definitely just be taking better people. You know what I mean? I'm a piece of shit. Do you know what? Fuck it, I should kill myself for the benefit of Elon Musk.
No, you shouldn't. That's against the terms of service. We won't go there. He was joking. Okay, joking. Don't do that, everybody. So, Phill, you are a peon. You don't matter. You're just a working class scrub. You aren't pulling the levers of society. You don't understand. Hard decisions have to be made for the technological progress of our society. We're in a particular time and place right now of technological innovation. We have to win this war. Step aside and let us bring in the talent that we need.
Why are you saying we? It doesn't involve me. Like, this is the cooked position. It's like, yeah, bro, it's about us. You need to kill yourself. You shouldn't have children anymore.
In our society, and elevate and making society work will elevate us all. It's in your interest downstream. It's going to be downstream in your interest.
What do you mean? It's not downstream. Don't do trickle-down economics. It's a load of fucking bollocks.
For the ride, peon.
It's a load of bollocks. It's like, yeah, it trickles down, bro. Go to a working class council estate. People still live in World War II homes who basically live identical lives to fucking Romanian gypsies. But yeah, bro, it's all trickling down. It's like, no, it's not. It's actually not trickling down.
Well, no. There is some element to trickling down. Society as a whole. Why? Because you do have a higher standard of living than a Romanian gypsy, even if you're poor and on bennies.
What are you on about? What are you fucking on about? If you're a working class person, you've got slower broadband than Romanians, you've got crap trains, you live in a World War II house, and you're surrounded by fucking literal fucking peoples of certain
people. Most of these people live in like commie blocks in Romania. They're hellholes.
People live in commie blocks in England. What are you on about? Go to fucking Birmingham. You'll be like, am I in Ukraine? Looks like Ukraine a little bit. Go to where I live. This is what it's like. Yeah, bro. If you're a white working class person, you live in a fucking Barrett's home. It's like, no, you don't. You live in a shitty little council house that was built in World War fucking II, and you've got crap broadband. You're skint all the time. And you actually dress identical to fucking Gopniks.
The broadband isn't fast enough. Is this your
it's
problem?
Not just the broadband, it's the fact that we live in shitty fucking houses. You've got no fucking opportunity to progress in any way whatsoever. All the jobs are being given to fucking Pajeets.
You've managed to do it, Phill. You've managed to carve out a well-paid job.
Yeah, I have. That's because I'm special. I'm a special individual.
You see, you've managed to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I listened to fucking Jacob Rees-Mogg, and look at where I am right now. You know
No, but no. In all seriousness, you've managed to do it because you're a higher functioning person, and so you've managed within this shitty system that you describe, where nobody can get ahead. You managed, you still managed to do it. I'm guessing without. I don't know. Do you have like some uni degree that you're not using or something? Or
I've got a bachelor's in philosophy, but I don't use it.
Okay, so you do have it, but you're not using it. Fair enough.
No, I'm not using it.
What I'm saying is, you didn't need it for your job. Somehow you managed to get a job where you're putting food on the table, buying nice clothes, and have a leisure life, and out of work, have some form of leisure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not that bad.
Right, it's not right. Listen, right. The point is,
there's opportunities.
It's not terrible. Like this is
by the way.
It's not terrible. We're not living in Africa or something. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the system could be better. It could be a lot better. We've got your favourite guy, Elon Musk, who's like, listen, guys, we're in an emergency. Instead of investing in your kids, which will cost a lot of money, by the way, we should just be getting high-skilled Indians by the fucking billions. And that's the problem, is that there's so many fucking Indians right now. The influx of Indians is fucking insane. Like, it's way too many.
We love them, the Indians.
Yeah, I love them a lot. Yeah, I love them a lot. That's why it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing they're here. It's amazing.
So I get your point. Obviously, yeah. So to backtrack a bit, I mentioned this in another stream. Elon Musk, at his point in life, okay, he is the richest man in the world. And he must have some level of God complex or whatever. When he talks about that, he believes, in simulation theory. I can understand that now, because he must do the odds as a maths guy and say, what are the chances that I would be the richest man literally on Earth? Well, it's 8 billion to 1. That's not possible. Therefore, I'm playing a computer game. This is a simulation. And so he's acting it out now in the world as if it is a computer game. And so he's basically got this, he's basically thinking of the world as pawn. It's like a chess game that he has to move pieces around. And I do think he's thinking of an end goal. And that end goal is succeeding through technological progress into this new golden age.
But using that logic, it's let's just have wars all the time, because that forwards technology.
I mean, what I'm saying is they currently believe that they've just invented the steam engine at the start of the Industrial Revolution.
Listen, I know rich people think that they're amazing and that we should just allow them to do whatever the fuck they feel like. But occasionally we have to interject and say this is morally fucking bullshit, what you're doing.
I'd agree. Yeah. Okay.
Collectively, we have to bargain with them and go, what you're arguing for will fucking get rid of me, that being a white working class person. That's what you're basically doing. And because I'm not a complete fucking loser.
You don't believe in this, do you? I mean, I see it. Imagine thinking Elon isn't a Satanist. It's not some grand conspiracy where he wants to destroy the world.
No, he doesn't want to do it. He's just doing it by proxy because he's a greedy fucking bastard. Right, he's got two. Listen, there's two options.
It's a shortcut, isn't it? It's a shortcut.
It's a shortcut. It's a cheat code. I get you, yeah? It's a shortcut, but obviously people are not going to accept it. If I say, listen, Stephen, we're going to create the perfect society, it just means that we cut your fucking legs off. You'd go, fuck that. I don't think I'm gonna support this. And that's why, collectively, you should go, do you know what, Elon? I don't think I'm going to support this. I think there's another way we can do this. We can still go to Mars and all that fucking bullshit if we just, instead of importing a load of people all the time, we just have a shit-hot education system that prioritizes a specific group over another group, because that's what everyone else is fucking doing already. But, that's what they're doing already. We've got an education system that prioritizes certain groups of people, be they rich people, be they fucking the other groups in question. We could tailor our education system. We went to the fucking moon and I'm supposed to believe that we can't fucking tailor an education system that would create white fucking English programmers. Is that not fucking possible? Of course it's possible. It's just expensive and difficult.
Yes, look, I agree with everything that you're saying. Hold on. Yeah, apparently, I was just asking Grok, how much does it cost to train a STEM graduate in America? And
yeah, how much does it cost you to say, "Hey, Indian, come over"?
And it might cost between 65,000 for Florida residents and 90,000 for non-residents.
Well, I've got a cheat code. The cheat code is, "Hey, Indians, let's stamp a fucking green card to your degree that you got in India."
So let's just lay it out. Remember, we've got an audience. We're not just arguing on Telegram still. So
yeah, got you. Sorry, bro.
The argument is, right, that from you have to. It costs your society through taxpayers like £100,000 or whatever to fund a child through to getting a STEM graduate degree in your own country. That's like the burden on the taxpayer. The Indian costs nothing because Indians have paid for that.
Yeah.
And the moment that he comes to your country, he immediately is in a tax bracket brand where he's paying tax as well. So it's like a double win.
Double win, yeah.
So these economic incentives are huge. You can understand why these people who I don't think that they think they're harming society. I think they think they're improving society.
They only care about themselves. That's the point.
Does Elon Musk only care about himself?
Yes, clearly.
I don't know.
He doesn't give a fuck about you, Stephen.
No, I know. And his vision may be misguided. Almost.
His vision is just, we're going
I'd agree. 8. No, it's not just that. Listen, let me ask you this question, Phil. If you were the richest man in the world, do you think all you would want is more personal money?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point, right? The point is that this is how humans think.
Would you have a grander vision? Would you think... No, but at that point, would you think, well, I've got enough money now. I also want to do, I want to be a philanthropist. I want to do better for society. I want something great. I've done the money game. Now what's next? So I think that's what's going on in Elon Musk's mind. And the vision that he has is that it's fucking AI. They're in this AI race. They have to win it
AI
at any
is fucking
cost.
Bullshit.
So when it comes back to your question of... No, it's not. When it comes back to your question of... Stephen, I'm going to chop your legs off and we're going to create the utopia. The trade-off actually in Elon Musk's mind is, in exchange for chopping your legs off, in like 5 years' time, you get a pair of amazing bionic legs and you get to live forever.
That's a false equivalency. I'll explain why. This is the future we're talking about, right? We've got a bunch of fucking stupid white people who live on a council estate, and option one is, your kids, in the future, they better adapt or we're fucking getting rid of them somehow.
There's no evidence that they're going to get rid of.
What do you mean they're going to get rid of them? Right, we're living in a world where the only way you can survive in the future is if you've got like an incredibly productive job. True or false?
Well, now I think the state's going to look after you, basically.
Yeah, we're going to use the state.
Do you think your job is going to vanish in your lifetime?
Probably not, but my job's shit.
Right.
Like the point is that I'd prefer my kids to have an amazing job. I don't want them to just live on a shitty council estate or live in a... Right, this is the point, right? The Indian who's coming over with his fucking shit-hot degree... His kids are going to have an amazing life in this country, true or false? They're going to have a head start beyond my children, right? Basically because the people at the top of the hierarchy chose the easy route rather than to invest in my own kids, right? That's the point we're talking about, is that unless your children are incredibly gifted, if you're born in this country, in the West, right, unless your children are incredibly gifted, it's probably going to be the case that they're not going to obtain, they're not going to have an easier life than an Indian immigrant's kid. Right, that's the issue. The issue is that this is a moral argument. This is not like a, you know what I mean?
The Indian immigrant's kid still has to be brought up in the society, the same society that's bringing up your kid.
Right, so if an Indian comes in this country with a fucking green card stamped to his fucking visa, and he's working in fucking San Francisco with the tech bros, right? His kids are obviously going to have a better education, going to have a way better education than you.
Why so? He's only going to be like on 50 grand a year or something. It's not. He's being brought in because wages are suppressed, so it's not like he's immediately like entering the elite. He's coming here to work. He's got to buy a house. He's got to put his kid in a regular school. Elon Musk probably only paying him, I don't know what they pay over there, like the equivalent of probably 50 grand a year here or something. It's not necessarily
you're missing the point,
just importing a future ruling class.
There's enough people who don't earn 50 grand, right? This cheat code shit, it could go ad infinitum where we could just fucking replace everyone. Like,
Hold on, that might be my car alarm. Just ramble for a second.
Goddamn English people.
Oh no, it's not. It's my neighbours.
Thank God for that. Look, you're the perfect liberal. You're like, thank God for that. It's my neighbours getting burgled. Fucking hell. Neighbours come out. Did you see anything last night? I did, but I'm a liberal.
I was busy.
Fuck you.
I was busy too.
Maybe you should protect your property better. Maybe you should hire an Indian security guard.
I couldn't do anything because he didn't break the NAP.
Yeah, he didn't break the non-aggression principle. He didn't break my property rights. Sorry, bro. Maybe you should be armed.
But if he'd have put 1 foot across my boundary, I would have.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the point.
No, look. Right. Okay. How about this? Right.
Yeah.
So, we can say that these are all delusions or whatever, but what if these tech bros are right?
They're right for the... Listen. What I'm saying is, they're not wrong. They're always going to argue for their own self-interests. It's in their self-interest to be that way. I get why they think the way they think. The problem is that I think a different way, and maybe you think a different way if it affected your very real life, right? So we live in a society where we have groups of people, in this instance, very, very, very wealthy people, who think they have a different goal, a different mission, different values than normal working class people. Normal middle class people have different values than working class people. Hence, why some people might come up with different political ideologies, like combining socialism with a other ideology, or just socialism, because it's about arguing in your group's interest, not their interest. We get their interest. It's impossible to reason with them because they have a different goal, and it doesn't necessarily benefit you. In fact, you're not even considered. If you're a working class person, Elon Musk couldn't give a flying fuck about your life. Really, he sees you as a fucking pawn that can be replaced with a high IQ Indian. That's the way he views the world. He doesn't look at fucking white rednecks.
He views the world in terms of resources. No, he's not looking at rednecks and thinking you're my kin.
You're my
no, he's not doing that. No, he's not doing that. No, he's not. I get it. But okay. And so, it almost, I hate to say it, but like our want for our societies to remain homogenous almost feels at this stage anachronistic. Duvid came on the show the other day and he's like, "You lost, guy. You've lost. It's over. You lost." Ha! And I was like, we have lost like the immigration game. So
yeah, we have.
It's fucked.
But
and I don't know what to do about it. It's
I will say this.
I don't know if there's anything we can. Yeah, go on.
Right, so we can all be blackpilled, right? At one point, everyone believed the Soviet Union was going to take over the entirety of planet fucking Earth. That was a thing that happened, right? That was a thing that happened, and then one day it completely fucking collapsed. Remember that, don't you?
Yes.
Right. I'm not saying
91 was it?
Yeah, I'm not saying pray for a miracle. I'm saying pray for a miracle. Problem is, this is a very difficult problem. I don't know what the solution is. That doesn't mean that political events aren't going to change. It might be the case that it is completely over. It might be. It might not be. I ain't got some fucking mystic ball or anything. All I know is that I've got my own interests, my own self-interests. They're different than Elon Musk's. Right? They're different than other billionaires who think along the same lines of him. And you know what? Billionaires, they have other billionaires who completely disagree with them. That's why you've got George Soros and all this shit. Right, yeah, they've got different visions than even Elon Musk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've got different groups. We've got Muslims, we've got Christians, we've got Jewish people. We've got all these collective groups, and they've got their own interests and gains and beliefs and stuff. But ultimately, you have to realize what your collective interests are, what your individual interests are. And they're probably going to align with a collective to some degree. And that's why liberalism is over. Not because the values and ideals weren't good in the beginning, they were, but because everyone's collectivizing around some bullshit. That's just the way the world is.
Or we are entering like the technocratic pre-utopia place, and none of this kind of matters, and people aren't even going to think. We're just going to look like old fucking relics from the past.
We're going to be surrounded by Indians going, hello sir, gift card, give me Google gift card. Walking around. That's the future. That's your fucking future. That's your future.
Part of the problem that these people believe, and they're right about this in a weird way, is that when you and I preach about like saving demographics or even the worst way of pitching it, like white genocide or any of these things, they look around and they say, like, nobody's stopping you having kids, Goy. Nobody's stopping you.
Kind of are.
Yeah, but they're not. You've managed it.
Well, I've managed it, but like it's not even that. It's like, oh, you have kids, but yeah, no one's. Well, are they stopping? They're not stopping me because I'm a fucking chad. No, I'm not kidding. But like, it's because. Generally speaking, if you look at the data...
People are making their own choices given the circumstances, right? You'd agree with that?
Not really. I don't think individuals make their own fucking choice. I think, generally speaking, they're manipulated by society in every fucking way.
Ricardo Williams says, thank you, bro. He says, greetings, my fellow marginalised losers.
Yeah. You are, though. If you're a white working class person, you are a marginalised loser.
That's what Luke Ford calls us, by the way. You're marginalised losers. If you are, if you're interested in a political ideology that is like on the fringes, any of this shit that's outside the mainstream, you're a marginalised loser. Realise it. It's not a society.
Yeah, but he is. He's a marginalised
loser. He had Ricardo was on his show yesterday. I listened back to it this morning, and he's going, the problems aren't outside in society, they're in your own head. You're projecting it out upon the world, aren't you? And I've sat there thinking, this is like proper, like, this is some really, really weird psychology.
Yeah, it's just
because look,
psychology.
I actually agree that both can be real. Like, you can internalize this shit way too much, become black-pilled, and, be bothered about it all the time. Wake up and, like, seek out the latest, black crime statistics and whatever, and therefore you live that lifestyle.
Yeah, don't do that.
But that doesn't negate the fact that all the problems in society exist at once and the same time. The problems are real.
They are real. It's just you care about them too much. I agree with this as well. Politics is interesting. We can't control anything. I can't control shit. You shouldn't be too black pill. Like, ultimately, just live your fucking life and good time, make best of the way the world is, ride the tiger, if you will. But you know what I mean? Just fucking do what you can. But the problems are very real. They are real fucking problems. The reality is...
Somebody like Luke would say, you see, Luke Ford, he says that basically, if you bring any of this shit up, you're going to marginalize yourself from your own community, and it's not worth the risk. And so you should just like suck it up.
Well, you can do both.
Suck it up and carry on. Forget about it.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'd apply that to Jewish people in concentration camps, wouldn't he? I'm sure he would say, "Hey, bro, I know you're in a concentration camp, but suck it up. What are you going to do? I know you're black-pilled, but why are you worrying about the bloody Nazis are thinking? Just make the best of what you can. Just make the best, bro." But obviously not. Like everyone does this to go, "Oh, yeah, well." Except when it applies to them, it's like, no, Jewish people are different. When you're getting trouble.
Anyway, then, Phil. So, right. Do you honestly believe that, like, well, let's go for the easier ones first. Forget America. America might just be on track to be this technocratic thing that the juggernaut is going down the track. It can't be stopped. But do you honestly think, like, European countries and the UK or whatever could revert back to, like, socialism, isolationism, and, you know, the economy just wouldn't crash overnight, and then there'd
Probably
be
not.
bread lines, and people would be like, get these fuckers out, you know, like within a few weeks, and begging like for...
No, ultimately I believe that most people have been, well, I'm not going to say indoctrinated, it's kind of cringe, but basically they've been culturally conditioned to sort of get on with the world. Most people don't give a fuck about politics. They just go work, provided people have got a stable income, they've got food, their rent paid and that. Most people don't care the way society fucking changes at all in any fucking way. And we have to accept the reality that, especially England, the United Kingdom, it's a fortress of liberal capitalism. It always has been. It's not going to be the case that...
It's the final boss, isn't it?
Oh, it fucking is. If you think England is ever going to become socialist or even nationalist, I think you're delusional. That's probably not...
Because they finally figured out, they finally hacked political ideologies whereby they give you enough freedoms so you don't rebel.
Correct.
This is the problem that, like, maybe even Russia right now has, and you know, and the communist countries have had, is too much oppression, and people feel it, and they're like, I don't like this. My instinct is to be free.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's financial security. Like if you look at what led up to World War I and II, it was mainly like the Great Depression, because we had a gold standard and all that fucking bullshit, so it was inevitable. But like, when it did crash, it created political turmoil. I think a lot of people were expecting...
after the First World War. Was it 1919 or something?
Yeah.
Whatever.
But the point is, that's not going to happen in the West. Like, our economic system is pretty stable. Like, that's pretty nailed down. They understand how people behave, and that's why they give them...
It's only stable because we're bringing in 1 million immigrants a year.
But this is why it's not really an economic problem.
This is how... I mean, what do you think about it? We now know why we got the 1 million immigrants. It was because coming out of COVID, Boris Johnson said, fucking hell, how are we going to pay for all this shit? Well, we just have to, like, keep the numbers going up. So, like, to keep above... We have to keep that 0.01% growth per year. How are we going to do it? Fucking hell. Open the floodgates. Let's bring in 1 million people a year.
It's not even happening. We're on 0.0% growth.
Line goes up.
It's not even going up. Line isn't even going up. That's the issue. Like, England's England is very unique in the sense that, like, America, don't get me wrong, their economy's growing. Our economy is not fucking growing. Our economy is stagnating. Hence why, it's not growing. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be some sort of like dramatic revolution or anything. I'm just saying that's the way the world. But just because, you know what I mean. Just because the world's shit or the political system is shit doesn't mean you have to fucking focus on that all the fucking time. You just have to go, yeah, that's the reality. England's a liberal shithole. It's not even good liberalism; it's crap liberalism. The economy's not even growing. So when they say that, well, liberalism's the best system, it's like, well, is it? Because the economy's not growing. We're having 1 billion fucking immigrants, and it's still not growing. So, we can't even build fucking train lines.
Talking about America, then back to America and AI. Yeah. These people believe that over the next 10 years, something revolutionary is going to happen. It's basically either two forces on the globe are competing for it right now. It's an unacknowledged war that's going on. It's the race to AI, and if China gets there first, then you'll be begging. You'll be like crying out to your leaders and saying, "Why the fuck didn't you bring in 1 billion Indians a year to make sure that we won?" Because now China's like just developed Skynet overnight, and they're like, "You will fucking serve us now."
Well, probably if that was the situation, I probably would think that. But like, it's not. But it's about ought, isn't it? We're making moral arguments. It's like, at the end of the day, we shouldn't. I believe we shouldn't do that. I think we should put our own people first, right? Mainly because I am black people.
Okay,
right? It excludes me.
I get it, but if so, here's the if. If what they say about AI is correct, then isn't it an arms race at any cost?
What do you mean? Oh, right. You're saying the future is, it's like, listen, guys, it's either,
at any immediate
Indians
cost
on your side versus the Chinese. The Chinese are fucking approaching. The Chinese want to kill you. I've got loads of sources saying the Chinese want to kill you. I know I want to kill you as well. Well, I don't want to kill you. I just think you should step aside while the Indians take over and do the jobs that you can't do because you're a stupid fucking guy on a council estate. You're a stupid guy in the council estate. Your kids are fucking retarded. You should be investing in Indian kids. But the Chinese are coming and they're going to kill you, even though you can't afford. It's like, listen, you're both enemies. China's an enemy and the elites of this country are an enemy. They're not. None of them are on your side. They're not on your specific side. Are they?
Yes, but if China, whatever you think of China right now, we're not talking about like whether China's a nice place to live in. We're talking about who has control over like the final technology that humans will ever invent.
Who cares? Who cares? How does that affect my life in any way? Whether some fucking fuck in government.
It might affect your children's life. It might be in the interest of humanity that this is going to sound so cringe, but look, let me just say it. Get this cringe out of my mouth. It might be in the interest of humanity that the free world develops AI before the Chinese do.
Why?
Why? Because the Chinese will use it to just like fucking annihilate us.
Not us.
So
they'll use us, America, just like our elites use us. They're not just going to blow up all of Europe. Why the fuck would they do that when they can take it over?
Well, what if they just decide to release a retrovirus that just wipes out white people?
What if? Well, if they did that, then I guess I'd side with the guy who wants to replace me with fucking Indians. I'd side
there
with
you
him,
go.
obviously.
There we go. So somebody like
yeah, I'd side up with it. Don't be fucking retarded. You don't have to. It's a false dichotomy what you're presenting there. One, because it's not going to happen.
I'm
Two,
saying
it's just
that these
fucking
people do believe that we're on the verge of like creating the final technology.
Can I just put my chud poker chip on the table?
Do it.
Nothing ever happens. This is a load of scaremongering bullshit. Just like China's economy is on the brink of collapse. I know I've said this 20,000 fucking times every year, but it's on the brink of collapse. Putin, the Russian economy is on the brink of collapse. Ukraine, just shut the fuck up. Nothing ever.
Well,
happens.
I don't know. Look, the AI is definitely people say that technological progress isn't happening. You get people like Ed Dutton who says we've stopped inventing things. I mean, is this guy for real? Look around, idiot.
We are inventing things, yeah.
Look around, idiot. The first smartphone only came out in 2007. Look at
we are
society now.
Things. Yeah, well, Ed Dutton is just some fucking retard. Well, he isn't a retard.
Don't you think most of the dissident right, though, are now extremely anachronistic? They belong to another time.
Are, they're too pro-trad to the point where they want to remain retards. Like they want society to. It's almost who said this? Not someone said it's like they're holding on to their mother's aprons of trad. They're like, oh no, I'm scared of technology. Look at what it's bringing. The fucking robots. It's like you shouldn't be doing that. You should be grabbing technology, right? It's like I'm not scared of technology. Right, I'm not scared of technology or progress. I think it's a good thing that we're inventing things and we're going to have a high-tech society. I just don't want them to fucking just get rid of my fucking offspring and make them do shitty jobs. I want them to invest in my kids. I want a society where my kids are doing the high-tech jobs, right? And I want white people to do the high-tech jobs. So we've got to invest in them more. I want a better future. Because this is the thing, what it comes down to is that here's a family analogy, right? Now, I have to look at, let's say you look at your own kids and you're like, what's the most productive way of spending my money? Is it giving the money to your own kid, or is it giving your money to some Bitcoin analyst or some sort of stockbroker? You could do that.
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Maybe I should give all my money to the fucking Indian kid down the road and just say, you know what, kid? This Indian kid's pretty shit. I think he should have all your pocket money. He should have all your pocket money because he's better than you. This is what it comes down to. He's better than you. It's just money well spent. Why invest in white people when we can just give it to fucking Indian immigrants with degrees and computer science? You know, don't invest in English people or Christians. We should be investing it in people who are more productive. Like the thing is, we're not motivated. Like human beings are not motivated that way. Like even you are not motivated that way. You're not entirely driven by production and economic activity and blah 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 blah. Yeah, you've got some sort of group identity or individual identity. You clearly give a fuck about English people a little bit because you're not totally on board with just bringing in infinity fucking Indians into England, are you? You want the best for English people, clearly.
No, I'm not, because obviously I see the destruction of the demographics that this has permanently, and here's the problem. Like, who was it? It was I'll just drop this in there. It was the iconoclast the other day that I was talking to. He said the problem is for the lower classes, for a guy who's like 32 years old, with 2 kids living in Birmingham. What can he do about it? He can't escape. He's very few choices left. So radically transforming your hometowns, your home society with all these foreigners is an imposition upon it's that class of people who suffer. They can't do anything about it. People who are more affluent, you can get out, you can go anywhere you want. You can do white flight, you can do whatever you want. But for the majority, it's not possible, I guess it. Are you still with us, Phill? No, he's dropped off. Walnut at the movies says, why improve machines when one can improve our species of humanity? Well, I just don't think. I feel like I'm the only one who takes AI seriously. The rest of you don't believe it. You think it's some kind of hoax, or it's just going to be a regular technology. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're wrong. If I'm wrong, okay. If you're wrong, then you can't see what's coming, and society's about to be super transformed, and everything depends upon it. I don't think Phil's going to come back. So, this was an impromptu stream. Would I sacrifice my family for Indians in the hope the West defeats China? Personally, obviously, no, I wouldn't. Because this comes down to, we all put our own and our own families first, and that's what you should do, obviously. I am not, by the way, anybody listening to this, I am not for Elon Musk bringing in infinity Indians into America. I think this is terrible. I was just trying to I'm trying to rationalize it, what these people are thinking about. What are their motives? Where do they come from? And I'm trying to rationalize all this in my head and get some serious answers, some serious ideas. Join Woodlanders Commune and do a permaculture course. Woodlander has reached out to me. He reached out to me yesterday and said, "Hey, I'll contact you tomorrow. But if you're gonna come on, bro, you've basically got tomorrow. I've got tomorrow to fit anybody else in it on SJJMAS, and then that's it. Because Sunday is pretty booked up. You get 3 slots on YouTube to give notifications out to your subscribers. So that's basically maximum 3 interviews a day. I've got 2 booked in for tomorrow, for Sunday already. I've got Saturday free if somebody wants to come on Saturday. Oh, I've already got 1 person booked in on Saturday at 4 p.m. Anyway, Phil's gone. This was an impromptu stream. Give it a thumbs up. I appreciate you. And I've got gay supremacist Vincent Bruno coming on at 10 p.m. It's all exciting here at SJJMAS. Good night, everyone. Continue having a Merry Christmas. See you at 10 p.m.